Okay, this should be my last video. I'm sorry we've had to do a series of 3. But I didn't want to leave the Common Lit page until I showed you guys the guided reading questions and the discussion questions. So again, I'm looking at a story, The Danger of a Single Story, that I've read with my students. We actually watched the video and then I made them go on Common Lit and read it and answer these questions. So you've got guided reading questions, and then they come over to the side and they answer about what they've read. And then there are actually discussion questions too. So this is what I'm talking about as far as transactional theory and relating it text to self. So the question is, when was a time that you falsely judged someone or a group through the lenses of a single story? How were you wrong in your judgment and what made you realize this? When we ask students those types of questions, we are allowing them to have a deeper connection and to think more critically about a text. So again, I showed you Common Lit because any high school content area, a teacher could get on here and look in the library and search for a book. They could search genre, grade level, a text set, a theme, and then you see at the bottom, this is new, they have Spanish text on here. So this is a great resource for teachers. Okay, let's go back into our presentation. The other thing I wanted to show you was Storyline Online. This is more for elementary school teachers, I would say, but I can see how it could also be applied in a secondary setting. But this is just celebrities. Here we go. This is just celebrities reading books. That's all it is. But again, it's that read aloud. It's showing students how to read aloud, how to take the time to not only hear the words, but comprehend the words. Okay, moving along. All right, sorry. In order to be successful during high school and into adulthood, secondary students need to develop not only the ability to read, but also the ability to comprehend difficult texts and to communicate socially and electronically in meaningful ways. So one of the ideas, first of all, let me say this. This is my driving force. This is what keeps me going as a high school teacher. I want my students to be successful, and I want them to be able to read and comprehend difficult texts and to be able to communicate what they've read. So that's why I chose schema theory and why I chose transactional theory to focus this presentation on, because I feel like those are two theories that are so deeply rooted in what I do with my students every day. So here's some takeaway points that I have from this presentation. The first is constructivism is top-down approaches that have major suggestions in regards to literacy achievement. So from constructivism comes a multitude of theories. And like I've said, I've only chosen 2 to focus on. But I think the 2 I've chosen, schema and transactional, really can have an impact on literacy achievement in regards to just considering and using instructional practices that stem from both of those theories. Number 2, the need for the learner to establish and apply background knowledge is a huge proponent of schema theory. Background knowledge, background knowledge, background knowledge. So many students that I have taught just lack background knowledge, and it's not their fault. No one goes out, well, I won't say no one, but usually teenagers are not interested in Puritan culture, but they need to have a little something to go off of and when we read that type of literature. Number 3, students that activate relevant schemata and make predictions are much more likely to be effective readers. And this right here, the key words in this takeaway point for me is make predictions. And it's important to stop while reading and allow students to infer and to take time to think about what might happen next. Number 4, when teachers use the components of transactional theory effectively, students will make a deeper and more meaningful connection to the text. So within my own classroom, through the research I've conducted in this class, I've been able to tweak and reconsider how I use certain instructional strategies. I think it's also enlightened me about the things that I've already had in place and given me more information, more to go on, and kind of solidified that foundation for me. For example, like with Common Lit, I tell teachers all the time that are not English language arts teachers, why don't you just try to do one Common Lit assignment just to let them have some literacy practice within your classroom? And now I feel like I have even more of a reason to say that to them because I know how it relates back to transactional theory. Also, learning about the different theories has certainly been eye-opening for me. It has made my understanding of instructional practices a lot more clearer and a lot more I feel like I've used a lot more research-based practices through the research that I've done for this class. And again, I think I just kind of summed this last one up, but I have a better understanding of how to improve my classroom practices and how to help other teachers. So that's the end of my presentation. Again, I'm sorry that we had to do it in a series of 3 videos, but I hope that from this, it was made very clear that these theories and the practices that are presented within that relates to each theory can be used within any content area.